One of my favorite properties in all of entertainment is Babylon 5. If you are unfamiliar with me, you might not know, but I've watched the show at least, 5, 6 times. I've got all the scripts for it. I've had all the novelizations. I've got all the comics. I've really dived deep into this world. It's a beautiful, beautiful world and definitely inspirational to me as an author and as a creator myself. And that really J. Michael Straczynski's work on this is why I became a writer at the end of the day, which is much to his chagrin, I know, because he doesn't much like conservatives at this juncture in his life. This is kind of what Hollywood does to people, I guess. But they are doing a reboot. In theory, it was announced last year that's kind of in the works, a CW reboot. Oh boy, and we got a surprise announcement by him that there's like an animated movie that looks like it's leading into that. And I'm going to talk about how that's going to work in just a second because it's going in a direction that I'm not in love with just because I've seen too many franchises do this with their reboots and changes. And of course, everything seems to be inspired by the way the MCU is doing things with these multiverses and all that. We'll get into the news in just a second. If you're new to the channel, my name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. This is my Stars Entwined. If you like Babylon 5, if you like science fiction space opera, you're going to love this series 100%. This is like the building block for what I'm going to be doing for a lot of stuff in science fiction. And I stay away from multiverses and things like that. I'm trying to keep things the way that they kind of were a little simpler back in the 1950s, 1960s, when science fiction was truly great. That's what we're trying to rebuild here with our Iron Age movement. So please go to Amazon, check out my books in the description below. You'll love them. I promise you that. Thank you so much for everybody who supports the channel. All right. This was announced on Twitter the other day by J. Michael Straczynski. Babylon 5 animated movie coming from Warner Brothers Animation and WB Home Entertainment. Classic B5, raucous, heartfelt, nonstop, a ton of fun through time and space, and a love letter to fans. Movie title to be in release date and other details coming 1 week from today, which now we're getting that information. So he blacked out the movie title. It's going to be called The Road Home. And just to be clear, this is a brand new original animated movie. It's already finished in the can. So that means it's already been done. It's 100% real, happening and coming out very soon, which is, Babylon 5 has had a history of new projects that are coming out at some point, from feature films to spin-off series. And what happens is inevitably they just get torched by Warner Brothers. They just don't have faith in this property for whatever reason, which is too bad because there's been a lot of false starts over the years of good stuff. I really liked when they were doing Babylon 5, The Lost Tales. It was a direct-to-DVD thing. And though, they didn't have a budget for extras, so you could tell that the space station felt very empty. For example, the stories of those were really good, and I was hoping that would catch on and something would happen with that. But unfortunately, it didn't. It was prior to streaming times. Maybe we would have got something a little better if streaming happened a little earlier. But this is what ended up happening is pretty much a bunch of false starts. Now, this one's called The Road Home, and this is by Hollywood Reporter right here. There's actually a cast unveiled for this. So here we are. A lot of the original folk are here, but you get a little description of what the story is, which is what I'm interested in. Travel across the galaxy with John Sheridan as he unexpectedly finds himself transported through multiple timelines. And this is what we're getting into with the multiverse sort of thing. These multiple timelines where things change in different timelines. This is what the MCU uses to reboot things, do whatever they want, and it makes for messy storytelling, in my opinion. Now, J. Michael Straczynski has always done pretty good in the past, but I just really am not a fan of multiverse storylines and different timelines storylines. It makes something feel like nothing matters. If that makes sense? Because you could always just go, it was an alternate timeline and the timeline changed if something screws up or if you want to change something. And that's what I think we're getting into with this reboot, because they are talking about doing a reboot. So introducing multiple timelines to Babylon 5 would obviously change the way that the reboot would be canon, right? That way you can make it, we can kind of redo Babylon 5 in its prime and all that, and redo the story with different characters and slightly different storytelling or whatever, all with it's still the same because it's just a different timeline. So it's a way to keep the reboot in a new universe, or in the same universe, I guess, multiverse, whatever it is. I hate these words. But this is what I think this is setting the stage for right here. It's something that I'm not thrilled about, but we'll see how this animated movie is. I mean, of course, I will be covering and reviewing this as it comes out. So a lot of people came back. Bruce Boxleitner's back. Love him. Claudia Christian, Susan Ivanova, Peter Jurassic. So basically everybody who's alive is pretty much back in all of this. But then a lot of people have died who were cast members. It's really tragic over the years. So you've got some new people playing Sinclair and Zathras, somebody new playing Garibaldi as a voice actor, and of course some others also, and Stephen Franklin. So sad. It's kind of sad on that. In animation, I guess it's a little more easier to palette than to see like a replacement or a CGI version of like an old character or something like that, like we see a lot with like the Star Wars films. So I'm all right with that. But that's what's going to be happening with this. And, I'm not sure I like the direction of this franchise, where it's going at this juncture. It seems like it's a little too late, and they probably should just like let it rest. Or, what they used to do, of course, with Star Trek was like they did the Next Generation. They did it 100 years later when they had a whole new universe to explore or whatever. And that way you can kind of reset the stage because it's a different, time period. But, when you do the multiverse thing, it's just like, I don't know. I'm not too excited about that personally. All right. What do you think about this? Leave a comment down below. Do you think it's going to be decent? I do think that J. Michael Straczynski has the writing chops where it should at least be pretty fun, as long as he doesn't insert current year politics into things. Let's hope that he is staying away from that. I know he did that with his Sense8 with the Wachowski brothers, and it was kind of a destructive identity politics storyline, which was kind of a bummer. Let's really hope that doesn't happen here. All right. See you guys soon.